Moving to Israel? Awesome. Acclimated to life here? Not as awesome. Welcome to Oleh Chadash Toolbox Talks, where co-hosts Ofer Nachshon, CEO of Aliyah Paveway, and Slivko meet twice a month to discuss with different service providers around the country tips and tricks to help you acclimate to your life here in Israel.
Welcome to another Aliyah Paveway Toolbox Talks for Olim. This is Slivko, and with me is Ofer Nachshon, CEO of Aliyah Paveway, and our topic today is insurance. Our guest today is Oded Winograd. Oded is an insurance agent, and he's been an insurance agent for 39 years. In fact, he's a second-generation insurance agent, and he is licensed in all areas of insurance. So we will begin with my first question. Oded, hi. Let's start by asking, what kinds of insurance should a new Oleh look for right out of the gate?
Hi to everybody. Well, everyone that comes to Israel and to any country actually needs health insurance. What I mean is traveling insurance for the first day that he's here in Israel. So if he comes here and something happens to him, he'll be covered for medical treatment. So when he's out of Israel, he needs to do that kind of insurance. So for the few days, maybe even a month or something like that, actually the first period of time that he thinks that he's going to stay here, he needs that kind of insurance. After that, when he's already in Israel and he thinks that he needs, that he wants to stay more than a short period of time, then he can do, first of all, what we call here tourist insurance. That will cover him as what we have here, what we call in Israel Kupat Cholim, or medical treatment that he needs a doctor or whatever everyone needs for medical treatment. And if he's going to stay here longer, then he can also do health insurance. But that's after, I think, at least half a year or a year, that period of time that he needs, first of all, to know that he wants to stay here.
So if one has a travel insurance, is it valid here in Israel?
Traveling insurance is valid usually all over the world. He needs to tell his insurance broker where he do that kind of insurance. He needs to tell him that he wants to go to Israel. He wants to go to wherever he goes. And when he's there, he's covered for that period of time that he's doing that kind of insurance.
Okay, Oded, you mentioned the Kupat Cholim, Israel Health Insurance, which sounds very much like the American HMO. How does the system work? And what does a person's private insurance add to that? And how can they do that?
Okay. When someone has Kupat Cholim and he needs to go to a doctor for he has headaches or things like that, whatever, nothing special, regular treatment, then he goes to a doctor in Kupat Cholim, that kind of medical place that he goes and have all kind of doctors and blood tests and whatever he needs for that. And if, hopefully not, but if he needs a surgery or something like that, they'll give him a certificate so he'll be able to go to a hospital to do the kind of surgery that he needs. Usually, most of the people, if they don't need anything special, they just go to Kupat Cholim, and most of the medical things that they need, they get from there, also medicines and everything.
So if someone needs a private insurance, what does the private insurance adds to this of Kupat Cholim?
First of all, here, for the period of time after the traveling insurance, if he does something like tourist insurance, as I said before, he'll be covered as all the Israelis here in Kupat Cholim, and also if he needs something extra. Private insurance, private medical insurance or health insurance, that's if he needs a doctor, if he wants to do a surgery and he wants to do that much quicker and to do it by special doctor that he wants to do it, then he can do also a private health insurance. Usually you do that only after a period of time. Maybe someone that comes to Israel already has something like that, so he can use it too, or even if he does it before in the States or whenever he came from to Israel.
So he can use his private insurance from the States to get a treatment here in Israel.
For a few things, yes, but for day-to-day medical treatment that he needs, he goes usually to Kupat Cholim. So he needs that kind of insurance here in Israel.
Oded, I'd like to ask you one more question. What kind of home insurance do we have? And what is the importance of home insurance here in Israel?
Okay, here in Israel, you have, of course, the building insurance. It's if you need, well, you do apartment insurance, home insurance, it covers the building, it covers the content, and third party. These are the three most important things that you have in that kind of insurance. If you buy an apartment, then of course you need to do the building insurance. If you only live in an apartment that you rent or something like that, and you have content inside that you want to insure, that kind of insurance, you need, if you only want the content, then you do that. But the most important thing is, even if you have small content, is to do that, because when you do it, you also have third-party coverage. So it's very important to have that kind of insurance.
What does it cover? Usually home insurance, what does it cover?
Well, damages to the walls if you do building insurance, damages to the content, and it's fire, water, explosion, earthquake, and all this kind of stuff. And third party, if someone comes to the apartment and you cleaned the apartment and it got hit because the floor was wet or something like that, and he sue you, he can sue also the landlord of the apartment. So it's the best thing that both of you will have third party. So you'll be covered, and also the landlord of the apartment will be covered too.
Let's move from home insurance to car insurance, if we can. As far as car insurance, what are the types of insurance that are available? And part two, does this apply as well to somebody who holds a foreign driver's license when they're driving in Israel?
If you want to drive in Israel, you need an Israeli driving license. But if you have a foreign driving license, then you can drive in Israel for a year. So during that year that you first come to Israel, you can drive with a foreign driving license or driver license. Depends on what country you come from. But anyhow, you can drive for a year with that. After that year, you can go to, here in Israel, it's Misrad HaRishuy. You go there and you can transfer, sometimes you can transfer your driver's license to Israeli one. Sometimes you need to do extra tests or whatever, but anyhow, after a year, you need Israeli driving license. That's one thing. Now, if you buy a car, of course, you need insurance for the car. First of all, you need the mandatory insurance that covers bodily damages. So in Israel, it calls bituach chova. Chova, it's because you need to do that by law. So you do that, and it covers all bodily damages for the people that drive and that are in the car. And also, if chas v'chalila, you hit a person. So that is bituach chova, mandatory. More than that, I think you need to do at least third party. Third party covers all damages to property of third party, not your car, only third party property. But it's only property, not bodily damages. As I said before, it covers by the mandatory insurance. And of course, if you have an expensive car and you want to cover your own car, then you do the full coverage, what we call here bituach mekif, that covers also damages to your car and fire and theft of your car. Of course, you can add things like towing, replacement car, and glasses, and all this kind. But the main issue, the main thing that I think that everyone needs, it's the chova, tzad gimel, mekif, mandatory, third party, and the full coverage.
I'd like to ask you one more question. Here in Israel, you can get insurance from companies through the internet. I want to ask you, is it important to have insurance agent, and what are the advantages that one can have if he gets an insurance agent?
Okay, insurance agent, I think it's very important to everyone, even to Israelis, because you have, it's not the same treatment as you need to go to direct insurance and you call them, and usually you have to wait for a long period of time till someone answers, and every time it's someone else that doesn't know you, and they don't know what kind of things that you need. A lot of them don't speak English, and so on. So if you want good treatment and you want someone that can give you special treatment for you and that knows you, and that's the difference for buying something. It's much where I think, if you have an insurance broker, then you can call him, you have his phone number, you have his mobile number, you have everything. I think I said enough.
Oded, if there was ever any evidence or proof that you need a knowledgeable, experienced insurance agent, I think you've just explained it. So thank you for sharing your 2 generations worth of experience. It's been very important, and I do appreciate it, and I hope our listeners can appreciate it as well. So I want to thank you for your advice, and I also want to thank our listeners for tuning in to this, and I hope that they learned something too. And I also want to remind everybody that Oded is one of Aliyah Paveway's preferred service providers, and you can find him and other service providers for all other areas that are relevant to new Olim on the Aliyah Paveway site. That's aliyahpaveway.com. Please go there and check it out and see what you learn. And on behalf of Oded, our guest speaker for tonight, For Ofer Nachshon, our CEO, I want to wish all our listeners an easy, smooth Aliyah, and of course, a successful Klita. And we look forward to seeing you all when you get here in Israel.
Thanks for joining. As always, Oleh Chadash, we're here to help you. AliyahPaveway.com